Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hello, you've pressed play. If you would like to continue this video in English, please press 1. If you would like to continue this video in Spanish, please press dos. If you'd like to continue this video in... Yeah, that was a computer joke, actually, that please press DOS. I know it's DOS, but... Anyway, we've all had times where we've picked up the phone to try to get a hold of a human being, only be greeted with a prompt like that, and just dived into utter madness and wasted a complete day of our lives on a phone trying to connect with just one freaking human being to find out the answer to a freaking question that the automated system just doesn't have a button for. It's frustrating, isn't it? I know, we've all been there. We all have experienced customer service nightmares, and I'm sure you guys are getting your comments ready and thinking about the customer service nightmares you've encountered in the past week, month, year, lifetime. Believe me, if you haven't ever experienced a prompt like that, you will. You will soon enough, and then you'll know exactly what we're talking about right now. Sometimes you just want to get a hold of a human. But how do you get a hold of a human if this is all you got? Well, thank goodness, Chris H. in our chat room reminded me of a website, gethuman.com. And this website will tell you what numbers are associated with what companies and then how to get directly to the humans. To the humans that are actually on the phone. So, for instance, it's got a rent-a-car place, and then it tells you the exact number and then what you do to get human customer service. More importantly, they actually grade the customer service and the options available once you reach customer service. And many of them, unfortunately, are D's, F's. Oh, this is actually heartening. The U.S. FBI, you get a direct-to-human contact, and they score a B. Unfortunately, a lot of computer companies here, they're scoring F's, F's, D's, F's, D's, D's, F's, 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 F's. But they tell you exactly what companies are available, the phone numbers associated with them, and then how to connect directly to a human. Ponzi was mentioning the other day that she was just beside herself with joy when she called up Apple to fix an issue she was having with her iPhone. The first time she called up, everything was fine. She called back later that day, and they had all her records completely intact, saying, "Hey, Ponzi, is this the same issue you were having earlier related to X?" And she said, "No, it's actually a different issue." But she was happy that they knew that much about her. And I err on the side of caution and maybe a little paranoia. Where do we stop that at some point? I mean, it's nice to reach out and touch someone and get to someone when you have an issue, but how much do you really want someone who doesn't know you to know about you intimately, detailed-wise? And, you know, again, that may be an extreme, but, you know, it's convenient on one hand, but it's potentially major privacy issues at stake that we have to think about these things. And so we've kind of gotten away from the human contact, and we may come back to it again at some point in the future, but when it happens, there'll be a lot more smart structures and information flow between two parties. But I don't know if we should necessarily walk into situations like Ponzi's been experienced with open arms. We have to question, you know, well, where does information end and our privacy begin? These are questions we got to ask ourselves. But if you do want to get a hold of a human with relatively benign information and questions, gethuman.com. I've never seen or found a better website database slash service that you could use to get to human beings. In fact, if you have anything that you want to add, you can go ahead and contact them and add a different company or explain a different routine or whatnot. What about you? I mean, how do you feel about customer service? Or no, you know what? I don't even want to hear about bad customer service. Well, okay, yeah, I do. But if you're going to leave that, that's fine. But what I want to hear about is an example of exemplary customer service. Who's doing it right? That's, I think, is much more important than knowing who's doing it wrong, because we can just assume that everybody's doing it wrong. I'm more interested in finding out who's doing it right. So either way, leave a comment, but I'm more interested in finding out who we should be praising instead of admonishing. Or, if you just want to talk about or an issue you're having that you can't seem to get around, you have a question about whether it's technology related or not, we're always live, living in the chat room. That sounds really bad, as if I don't have a life outside the chat room. I do. Not much of one, but I do have a life. You're more than welcome to swing by anytime. It's absolutely free, anytime, day or night, 24 hours a day. Sometimes I'm up late, sometimes I'm up early, but there's always someone here. live.pirillo.com.